log in and we're going to take a look at the internals, the mechanics of Azure Communication Services for the next couple of minutes. It's the platform, the infrastructure that runs Microsoft Teams globally. I'm joined by Milan, Kaur, who's actually on the team building out the platform. What we want to do is actually talk about what Azure Communication Services is, show you what it looks like running, and also some tips in terms of building out your own code. And stick around because we've got some samples at the end that you can use to get started quickly. So Milan, why don't we catch everyone up who's in the audience here and watching today? What is Azure Communication Services?
Well, Azure Communication Services is Microsoft's intelligent CPaaS, which is Communication Platform as a Service. And it enables developers to have API-level access to rich communication capabilities, such as chat, email, and now even WhatsApp and voice and video, so that they can use these capabilities into their apps across different devices and platforms.
Right, and of course, because it is the year of AI, you can also pull in all the different Azure services, including the different AI models behind the scenes, and plug into what you need to get this to work in your own way. Again, being multimodal with all the Azure services connected to it. Now, the great thing is, everyone can build out their own different services if they wanted to for text messaging support, chat, video, telephony. With Azure Communication Services, it's just one API that you have to call, and basically all the work is done for you. So these are the things where, for example, just through normal programmatic API calls, you can get text messaging support, which is nice, telephony, video for video calls, you can get chat support. Even email is something that you can do right here from just Azure Communication Services natively. And like you said, even WhatsApp and other things are being added to it. So there's a lot of things you can do now. And also, you've done some updates recently. So what else is new in the service?
Well, for the channels, we have the new channel WhatsApp, and we've infused AI into it. At Build, we just announced AI analytics for WhatsApp. So that's pretty exciting. And there are a lot of other announcements that we made at Build. So let me start talking about Click to Call.
Okay, let's show Click to Call. This is the call experience if I'm going to call into an application that's kind of branded as my app, no Teams. I just call in, right?
Yes. So Click to Call enables you to connect your developers, not developers, connect your customers who are using custom branded websites.
They might be developers.
Yeah. And to connect them to the Teams, sales representative who are using Microsoft Teams. For example, Jeremy, you're here and you want to talk to the sales representative who are selling, solar panels. So you can actually start the call right from the website, and you can select, if you want audio or video.
Right, and something like solar panels, this is something that's very consultative in terms of how you would sell it or how you'd buy it.
Yep.
So you need to make sure that you can get all the different tools like screen sharing and being able to kind of give product demonstrations. So here you're basically saying, I want to be able to use my video, and I want to make sure that I can, people can collect data on the other side because I'm going to be buying something ultimately in this one. So why don't we show what the call kind of support tech experience looks like?
Right. So here you see that as a business representative of Contoso Solar website, I can see my Microsoft Teams view, which I'm very comfortable using, right? So you see the Queues app for Microsoft Teams here. It kind of lists all the calls that your organization or the call queue has received. It also shows analytics like, how many people are waiting in the call queue, what's the average waiting time, and so on.
Right, and then when the call comes in, it looks like a Teams call, which is nice because it's very familiar in terms of the experience.
Exactly. And as soon as an agent, when you accept the call, on the right, as you can see in the browser, there's a customer profile window that has popped up.
Right.
It's taking the data from the organization's CRM. So imagine how cool it is that as a business representative, you're picking the call, and you can see the customer information pop up right there and then.
Very, very cool stuff. So, and in terms of beyond all of what you can do here, let's have a look at what the user experience. Let's go back to the user side of it, because this was, again, the support tech. So what does the user see then when they join?
So here's Donald, and he will get the audio-video experience of having a call with the customer representative. And we introduced something called live captions, where they can select the language that they want to use. So it's a great accessibility feature for the client side, which is Donald, or the customer here.
Right.
Because they can see the transcript here, right?
Yep.
And then we also have additional features that we just announced, like deep voice suppression. And Jeremy, you could imagine like in a situation like this where we have so much energy around us and background noise. So something like this is like really useful.
And even all practically, I think everybody was taking a lot of online meetings and calls over the pandemic with lawnmowers and hedge trimmers and things behind them. that technology you basically get in the background as part of using, again, Azure Communication Services. And we're also seeing screen sharing here as well.
Right. So we now support screen sharing, and we also introduce features like PowerPoint Live and Reactions. And I just want to make one thing very clear. Yes, all of these features are available on the Microsoft Teams side. But the magic that Azure Communication Services is bringing is that it's enabling these communication features for your customers who are not on Microsoft Teams. They are on your website, on your mobile app.
Yeah, so there's nothing for them to install. They don't have to go into Teams and kind of schedule a calendar invite or any of the meetings. It's just your normal web kind of look and feel, your branding. They hit the call icon in this case, and they'll be able to connect to a call or to an expert in our case. So very, very cool stuff. But I know there's a lot of developers, again, watching that probably manage services like this. So what does it look like in terms of the management and operations experience?
Yes. So it's built. We need to talk about developer experience. So we have a feature called Call Diagnostics, which lists down all the calls that the organization has had. And you can click on the call and see the summary of issues. And then if you want more detail, you can double click into it. You can see a participant level drill down, like which participant had what kind of experience during a call.
Right.
And then you can see, a timeline view where you can see things like network, what was the quality, what was the bit rate like, and then all of the other analytics that you would use for diagnosing, a call issue.
Yeah, I used to run call centers when I lived in China, and like the things that you can see here, like jitter and the different call kind of experiences by the minute, super valuable information, especially when you're troubleshooting, diagnosing any issues. All of that's just right there graphically for every single contact basically that you get. And of course, for troubleshooting, the nice thing is we give you all the links to the right different pages inside of learn.microsoft.com. And it wouldn't be complete in 2024 without a Copilot demo. So of course, we've wired in Copilot.
Yes. So here you can see that the Copilot can help you figure out how to use this tool really effectively. And you can also ask it questions like how to, evaluate network quality, how to troubleshoot a certain issue that you're seeing in the call diagnostic view.
Right. One of the powerful use cases, again, because Copilot can basically reason over what it sees here on the left and the documentation that it has to help you troubleshoot and save time again using Copilot right now that you can do within Azure Communication Services. So the other part of it, I think it will be interesting for all the developers watching are kind of what's the code construct? What am I doing in terms of building out these types of app experiences? So why don't we go into something I think a lot of people will look forward to, a sample, in terms of what we just saw that you can use right now. So here I'm just pulling up one TypeScript file, but you can see that we give you basically a nice sample through GitHub, and we'll show you that link in a sec. But basically, all the things that you'll need are already built, so you can start kind of kicking the tires and getting used to how all of this stuff works. Just to go into kind of what we just saw in the very, very first demo, we showed that call widget. So I'm just going to zoom in here to our call widget, and you can see exactly kind of what's here in code. It's relatively easy in terms of pulling these different controls up. But this is something, again, once you get home from build next week, these are things that you can start trying right now.
Yeah, and I'll quickly add one thing. So the widget that you saw in the Contoso Solar website on the right, that's part of our UI library, the Azure Communication Services UI library. So you can actually use that widget directly into your code, and that's what you're highlighting here.
Right, and the important thing here is also, again, this is the back end, this is the infrastructure running Microsoft Teams. So it's a global service. All the availability, all of the kind of service quality that you expect from a global service like Teams that you can harness, you can brand it and make sure it matches your website, your look and feel, all of those things. So it looks like it's the experience that you're providing. So in terms of the sample, and I promised I would get to this, this is something that you can check out right now. If you go to aka.ms/C2C build sample, that's where you can get to this sample that we showed today. And that's going to be something that you can get to at any time when you watch this. And also, I'd encourage anyone who's checking this out and wants to build an app like this for their own environment, all of the information that you'll ever need in terms of Azure Communication Services at aka.ms/Azure Communication Services. So, Milan, thank you. This is amazing to see all the different work and the updates to Azure Communication Services. There's a lot more to come at Microsoft Build. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.